Now we're going to focus on absent students. So here are just a few questions that you can think about. Do you want a student to support this student and gather their work and explain what they missed? Or maybe that's a classroom job. Do you want to maybe set up a self paced classroom where if they are absent, they can just make up the work at their own pace or they can complete it at home because it's already laid out for them? Do you want a catch up binder where maybe it's a folder or a binder and students go to that folder or binder and they collect their work? Do you want to communicate email or Google Classroom to the student or post your daily agenda? Do you want to schedule maybe a one on one time so when they do return, they can meet with you? Or do you want to maybe use video for your instructions and the students can go back and rewatch those videos? So, here are again some resources. Again, you do not want to use all of these resources. You want to pick and choose what's going to be best for you and your students. And so, right here is a Google slide that you might use for absent work. Students would see kind of every single class that they have and everything that they kind of miss. So, it's like a quick view of what they've missed. Maybe you want like an absent folder or an absent kind of activity log for them to also see. So here would be assignments, notes, due dates, that kind of stuff. Also, if you work with a team of teachers, you might want to talk with them and ask them what their procedures might be. Do you want to use a roadmap? This is where that self pacing can come into play. And if a student misses, they can continue to learn at home or they can continue to learn at their own pace, completing these different activities. Maybe you want to use the grid method, similar idea as a roadmap, just different levels for students to level up. And typically, the goal is to get students to level 3, and level 4 and level 5 is kind of like those can do activities, those extensions for students. Maybe you want like a must do, can do list. So that way, students know, okay, this is what has to be done, and this is what you can kind of work on. So, again, just kind of some other ideas on how you might incorporate that list into your classroom. Maybe you want to do a screencastify. Here is a resource that goes over using YouTube in the classroom, and it walks through creating content and why you could do this and how it could save you time. And maybe it's not the absent students watch this screencast, maybe it's every single student. They walk in, and that's part of their bell work, that's part of their morning routine. And so they watch these screencast lessons, and then they go and complete the work. So you're moving more to a video type of kind of teacher where you're able to meet one on one and help students that way. Maybe you want to post your agenda or all your work by a date in Google Classroom. And so it would benefit all students. Every single student has access to their Google Classroom if they're present or not, and they can go in and see exactly what was assigned for that day. So, again, just some ideas, and this list might grow as we find more resources, or if you have something that works, send it our way. But then here are just some examples. So, again, using other students and empowering them. So maybe a neighbor in that classroom can help and they put all of those work samples in a folder and then they kind of go over with that student what they kind of miss when they come back. Maybe you have a form that you fill out every single day and you put students' names on it and you just write or copy if you have multiple students what they missed and that way they have that available for them. Again, if you're working with other teachers, you want to collaborate with them as well. So that way you kind of have the similar procedures and action steps in place for these students. But again, we'll just keep adding to this and you do not want to do all these activities. You want to pick and choose what's going to work best for you and your students.